Leviticus 5. These are things for which a sin offering must be made. A person might be ordered to tell in court what he has seen or what he knows. If he does not tell the court, he is guilty of sin. Or someone might touch something unclean. It might be the dead body of an unclean wild animal, or an unclean farm animal, or an unclean crawling animal. He might not know that he's touched it, but he will still be unclean and guilty of sin. Many things come from a person which are not clean. Someone might touch one of these unclean things from a person and not know it, but when he learns about it, he will be guilty. Or someone might make a promise before the Lord without thinking. He might promise to do something bad or good. The promise might be about anything. He might even make a promise before the Lord and forget about it. But when he remembers, he will be guilty. When anyone is guilty of any of these things, he must tell how he sinned. He must bring an offering to the Lord. It is a penalty for his sin. It must be a female lamb or goat from the flock. The priest will perform the acts to remove that person's sin, so he will belong to the Lord. But perhaps the person cannot afford a lamb. Then he must bring 2 doves or 2 young pigeons to the Lord. These will be the penalty for his sin. One bird must be for a sin offering, the other must be for a burnt offering. He must bring them to the priest. First, the priest will offer the one for the sin offering. He will pull the bird's head from its neck, but he will not pull it completely off. He must sprinkle the blood from the sin offering on the side of the altar. Then he must pour the rest of the blood at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. Then the priest must offer the second bird as a burnt offering. This is what the law says. In this way, the priest will remove the person's sin, so he will belong to the Lord, and the Lord will forgive him. The person might not be able to afford 2 doves or 2 pigeons. If not, he must bring about 2 quarts of fine flour. This will be an offering for his sin. He must not put oil on the flour, and he must not put incense on it, because it is a sin offering. He must bring the flour to the priest. The priest will take a handful of the flour as a memorial offering. He will burn it on the altar. It goes on the top of the offerings made by fire to the Lord. It is a sin offering. In this way, the priest will remove the person's sins, so he will belong to the Lord, and the Lord will forgive him. What is left of the sin offering belongs to the priest. This is like the grain offering. The Lord said to Moses, "A person might accidentally sin and do something against the holy things of the Lord. That person must bring a male sheep from the flock. It must have nothing wrong with it. This will be his penalty offering to the Lord. The value of silver of the male sheep must be correct. Use the proper value for silver as set by the holy place measure. That person must pay for the sin he did against the holy thing. He must add 1/5 of its value, then he must give it all to the priest. In this way, the priest will remove the person's sin, so that he will belong to the Lord. The priest does it by means of the male sheep of the penalty offering, and the Lord will forgive the person. A person might sin and do something the Lord has commanded not to be done. It does not matter if that person knew or not. He is guilty. He is responsible for his sin. He must bring the priest a male sheep from the flock. It must have nothing wrong with it. It must be worth the correct amount. The male sheep will be a penalty offering. The person sinned without knowing it. But with this offering, the priest will remove the sin, so the person will belong to the Lord, and the Lord will forgive him. The person is guilty of doing wrong against the Lord, so he must give the penalty offering to the Lord. Psalm 3. David sang this when he ran away from his son Absalom. Lord, I have many enemies. Many people have turned against me. Many people are talking about me. They say, God won't rescue him, Selah. But Lord, you are my shield. You are my wonderful God who gives me courage. I will pray to the Lord, and he will answer me from his holy mountain, Selah. I can lie down and go to sleep, and I will wake up again because the Lord protects me. Thousands of enemies may surround me, but I am not afraid. Lord, rise up. My God, come, save me. You have hit my enemies on the cheek. You have broken the teeth of the wicked. The Lord can save his people. Lord, bless your people. Selah. Psalm 4. For the director of music, with stringed instruments, a song of David. Answer me when I pray to you, my God, who does what is right. Lift the load that I carry. Be kind to me and hear my prayer. People, how long will you turn my honor into shame? You love what is false, and you look for new lies, Selah. You know that the Lord has chosen for himself those who are loyal to him. The Lord listens when I pray to him. When you are angry, do not sin. Think about these things quietly as you go to bed, Selah. Do what is right as a sacrifice to the Lord, and trust the Lord. Many people ask, who will give us anything good? Lord, be kind to us. But you have made me very happy. I am happier than they are. Even with all their grain and wine, I go to bed and sleep in peace. Lord, only you keep me safe. Proverbs 20. Wine and beer make people loud and uncontrolled. It is not wise to get drunk on them. A king's anger is like the roar of a lion. Making him angry may cost you your life. Foolish people are always getting into quarrels, but avoiding quarrels will bring you honor. A lazy farmer doesn't plow when he should, so at harvest time he has no crop. Understanding a person's thoughts is as hard as getting water from a deep well, but someone with understanding can find the wisdom there. Many people claim to be loyal, but it's hard to find someone who really can be trusted. The good person who lives an honest life is a blessing to his children. A king sits on his throne and judges people. He knows evil when he sees it. No one can say, I am innocent. I've never done anything wrong. The Lord hates both these things, dishonest weights and dishonest measures. Even a child is known by his behavior. His actions show if he is innocent and good. The Lord has made both these things, ears that can hear and eyes that can see. If you love to sleep, you will be poor. If you stay awake, you will have plenty of food. The buyer says, this is bad, it's no good. Then he goes away and brags about what he bought. There is plenty of gold, and there are many rubies. But there are only a few people who speak with knowledge. Take the coat of someone who promises to pay what a stranger owes. Keep it until he pays the stranger's bills. When a person gets food dishonestly, it may taste sweet at first, but later he will feel as if he has a mouthful of gravel. Get advice if you want your plans to work. If you go to war, get the advice of others. Gossips can't keep secrets, so avoid people who talk too much. Whoever curses his father or mother will die like a light going out in darkness. Wealth that is gotten quickly in the beginning will do you no good in the end. Don't say, I'll pay you back for the evil you did. Wait for the Lord. He will make things right. The Lord hates dishonest weights, and dishonest scales do not please him. The Lord decides what a person does, so no one can understand what his life is all about. It's dangerous to promise something to God too quickly. After you've thought about it, it may be too late. A wise king finds out who the evil people are, then he punishes them. The Lord looks into a person's feelings. He searches through a person's thoughts. Loyalty and truth keep a king in power. He continues to rule if he is loyal. Young men are admired for their strength. Old men are honored for their experience. Hard punishment will get rid of evil. Whippings can change the evil person's heart. Colossians 3. You were raised from death with Christ. So aim at what is in heaven, where Christ is sitting at the right hand of God. Think only about the things in heaven, not the things on earth. Your old sinful self has died, and your new life is kept with Christ in God. Christ is your life. When he comes again, you will share in his glory. So put all evil things out of your life. Get rid of sexual immorality and impure acts. Don't let your feelings get out of control. Remove from your life all evil desires. Stop always wanting more and more. This really means living to serve a false god. These things make God angry. In your evil life in the past, you also did these things. But now, put these things out of your life. Anger, bad temper, doing or saying things to hurt others, and using evil words when you talk. Do not lie to each other. You have left your old sinful life and the things you did before. You have begun to live the new life. In your new life, you are being made new. You are becoming like the one who made you. This new life brings you the true knowledge of God. In the new life, there is no difference between Greeks and Jews. There is no difference between those who are circumcised and those who are not circumcised, or people that are foreigners or Scythians. There is no difference between slaves and free people, but Christ is in all believers, and Christ is all that is important. God has chosen you and made you his holy people. He loves you, so always do these things. Show mercy to others. Be kind, humble, gentle, and patient. Do not be angry with each other, but forgive each other. If someone does wrong to you, then forgive him. Forgive each other because the Lord forgave you. Do all these things, but most important, love each other. Love is what holds you all together in perfect unity. Let the peace that Christ gives control your thinking. You are all called together in one body to have peace. Always be thankful. Let the teachings of Christ live in you richly. Use all wisdom to teach and strengthen each other. Sing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your hearts to God. Everything you say and everything you do should all be done for Jesus your Lord. And in all you do, give thanks to God the Father through Jesus. Wives, be under the authority of your husbands. This is the right thing to do in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and be gentle to them. Children, obey your parents in all things. This pleases the Lord. Fathers, do not nag your children. If you are too hard to please, they may want to stop trying. Slaves, obey your masters in all things. Do not obey just when they are watching you to gain their favor, but serve them honestly because you respect the Lord. In all the work you are doing, work the best you can. Work as if you were working for the Lord, not for men. Remember that you will receive your reward from the Lord, which he promised to his people. You are serving the Lord Christ. But remember that anyone who does wrong will be punished for that wrong, and the Lord treats everyone the same.